Hello and welcome to this particular presentation, Getting It Right on Your Second Attempt at Marriage. Guardrails to a Happy Marriage Relationship. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video on how to choose a marriage partner. By the way, the link to that particular video is down below. And a dear friend of mine, professional colleague, called me up and said, hey, I saw this video, I listened to it, it blessed me, and I've shared it with family and friends. But hey, guess what? How about folks who want to attempt a second marriage for whatever reason, okay? And that got me thinking. And I said, really, that's true. The needs are different. There are peculiarities, when you're going into a second marriage as opposed to what it was like in a first marriage. So I decided to do a video to deal with getting it right at your second attempt at marriage. Now, let me say this quickly up front. This presentation is not focused on why you are going into a second marriage, okay? That is not the topic of our discourse. I'm just going to talk about how to get it right at your second attempt at marriage, okay? And I'm hoping that by the time we're done, this particular presentation, if you listen all the way to the end, one, you should be able to describe the characteristics and challenges of a second marriage. Number two, be able to identify what to look out for when entering into a second marriage. Number three, describe how to deal with issues that may arise. Describe the best test for compatibility in a second marriage. And what should a Christian look out for in a second marriage? And then finally, some danger signs to signal run, run, run. All right, there are some signs that you would see and you just know that, hey, I need to run for my dear life. All right, so stay with me. The videos are short, short, impactful, and concise. That's what we are known for on this channel, and that's what you're going to get again this time around. By the way, remember to subscribe to my channel, share, and like this video, and all the other videos that we have out there. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Hello, and welcome to the very first session of this presentation on how to get it right at your second attempt at marriage. Now, second marriages have unique characteristics and challenges compared to first marriages. Here are some common challenges that you want to take note of as you contemplate a second marriage. Number one is different expectations, okay? People who enter into the second marriage often have different expectations than they did the first time around. I mean, you were 21, she was 18, you were 25, she was 23, you had no care in the world, you were in love, and there was absolutely nothing holding you back. But hey, now you are 40, she's 30, you are 50, she's 40, you are 60, she's 50. And there's a whole lot of experience, a whole lot of sometimes baggage, a whole lot of assets, hopefully, liabilities, part of the game. And all those things, are now coming together into this marriage. So you may be, looking at companionship and, stability rather than romance and excitement. All right, this time around, it may not be the things that intrigued you or excited you 20, 25 years ago. This time around, you may be a bit more sober-headed, more realistic. I'm just looking for somebody that can help me with X, Y, Z. All right. Number two is blended families. Okay. Second marriage often involves blending families from previous relationships. Okay, so here you are going to get married to somebody, already has children, they could be young, they could be old, you are coming in. So, it's like it's you and your two sons. And then suddenly the person you want to marry has one son and two daughters. And bingo, after the wedding on Saturday, you are going back home, a family of 7. All right, you're going from 3 to 7. Okay, now that needs some logistics, you know what I mean? So you want to be aware of that and make sure that you guys are blending at the right points. Depending on the age of the children, I would advise that you need to carry them along. Don't surprise them and say, call him daddy. It's not going to work. All right? Or call her mommy. It's not going to work. Okay? You need to carry the children. It's almost as if you need to woo the woman and her children. The woman needs to, get the man's heart and the children that she's going to now inherit as hers. There could also be trust issues, depending on your experience from your previous relationship. If there were issues of infidelity, betrayal, etc., it might be a bit more challenging for you to trust this time around. So that's something you want to bring up and, have a frank conversation about it with your partner so that both of you are on the same page, recognizing what your issues may be. Then also you have financial concerns, all right? It's possible that there are now, liabilities, you have debt, you have loans, etc., etc. I think it's good and proper that these things are put on the table. Everybody's in the know, you discuss it, you're in agreement, so that you don't wake up one morning, you thought you were rich, and then because of marriage, you're a pauper by the next day. It's something to think about. Then there's also the issue of emotional baggage, all right? Individuals who have been through a divorce may bring emotional baggage and past trauma into their second marriage. So, and this can create additional challenges. So you need to be aware of this. And then also learning from past mistakes. This is a good one. Individuals who have been through a divorce may have learned important lessons about communication, compromise, and other important aspects of a successful marriage, which can help them to navigate the second marriage more effectively. So yes, hopefully you are coming on board with some experience that will put you in good stead for this second attempt at marriage. Now, again, it's important to recognize that every marriage is unique and that not all second marriages will experience similar peculiarities. However, whatever the case may be aware of these things, see if there are things you can deal with, or you need to say, you know what, sorry, white flag, I surrender, this is not going to work, and you back out of it. It is better you remain in the state you are in now than to compound your situation going into a relationship that, again, will not work for you, all right? So I'll see you at the second session where we'll be looking at what you should look out for when entering into a second marriage. See you then. Bye. Hi, and welcome to session 2. What do you look out for when entering into a second marriage, all right? There are different folks involved. There are different things to look out for, but I'm just going to give you a quick list of about 5 things I'd like you to put your mind on. There could be more. This is by no means exhaustive, but it's a good place to start. The first thing is compatibility. It is important you look for someone who is compatible with you in terms of your values, your beliefs, and your goals, all right? You have a better sense of who you are now, hopefully. I want to believe that, emotionally you're more matured, so you know yourself and you know what you want. This is not the time to manage, like they say, okay? Number 2, again, just like I mentioned, is emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is key to successful marriage, all right? You need to look for someone who is able to communicate effectively, handle conflict constructively, and take responsibility for their actions. You cannot afford to marry a child a second time, okay? Number 3 is trustworthiness. Trust is essential in any marriage, okay? But it can be equally important in a second marriage. If you've been hurt previously, betrayed in the past, then look for someone who is honest and reliable. The last thing you want is somebody who will break your heart a second time. Look for somebody who will follow through on their commitments. Pure and simple, okay? Now, the next point is financial stability. Financial stability is important in any relationship because if you don't get it right financially, it can mess you up big time. So you've got to be sure that, who am I getting married to? What are the assets? What are the liabilities? Can I cope? Are there debts? Let everything be on the table. I don't want surprises after the marriage and discover that, oh, he borrowed, I've seen cases like that where the guy borrowed to fund the wedding. And so they entered into the wedding, the marriage with a huge debt. And the wife never knew. She actually thought he had a good job, that he was working. Guess what? My guy didn't even have a qualification. He was just a smooth talker who knew how to talk his way through. Please, I want to plead with you. Nothing stops you from saying, can I take a look at your bank statements? This is mine. Okay? Another thing to look out for is family dynamics. Okay? Do you have children from a previous relationship, previous marriage? It's important to consider how your new partner will fit into your family dynamic. Look for someone who is willing and able to form a positive relationship with your children and who understands the unique challenges that come with blended families. I beg you, please make sure that person is ready for what it takes. Some time ago, there was a young lady, not young, matured lady, but who had never married. And there was this widower in church who was looking to get married. And, in fairness, I thought it would work. But the lady came to me and said, sir, this man has children that are challenged and I can't cope with it. I've never been married before. It would be too much for me to go into the marriage and dealing with challenged children. And I said, fair enough. Fair is fair. And I said, if that's the way it is with you, then truly and sincerely, don't go into it. And I thought that was a better thing to do than, because the man was or is wealthy, go in because of the money and then discover that there's a whole lot more, and then everybody's frustrated, and you can imagine how that will end. Okay. Again, I want to repeat this. Every relationship, every marriage, every person is unique. Okay? Look through this list. Anyone that affects you, deal with it. Sometimes you may not have the same challenges as others are having. Bear that in mind. Thank you very much. We're going to go to session 3, where we're going to be dealing with issues. Issues. How do we deal with issues that arise in a relationship where it's a second attempt at marriage? I'll see you then. Thank you very much. Hi, welcome back, and thank you for staying with me till this very moment. I'm delighted that you're still here. Session 3, dealing with issues can vary, all right, depending on the nature of the issue. But here are some general steps and guidelines to help you as you seek to build a relationship. Number 1, identify the issue. The first step in dealing with any issue is to identify what the problem is. Be clear and specific about what it is that is bothering you and what is really the issue. Number 2, communicate. Once you've identified what it is, then by all means, communicate, all right? Tell your partner how it is with you, how you are feeling, exactly what is the issue, okay? Please don't demand of them to be mind readers, okay? You should have known. Well, how would I have known? You didn't say anything. All right. And at this age, we are matured people. The understanding is that we've outgrown some of those, a bit when we're younger, it's the time to come up and really say it as it is. Another thing is to listen. Allow the other person to share their perspective and listen actively without interruption or becoming defensive. This can help to ensure that both sides feel heard and understood. So you must listen to the other person, hear what they're saying, take in what they're saying, and then together, the next point is to brainstorm solutions, okay? Work together to identify the potential solutions to the issue, be open-minded and willing to compromise to find a solution that works, and make sure that all hands are on deck. Having decided on the best path to go, then the next thing is to take action. Once you've agreed, make sure that you truly and sincerely follow through on your commitments, okay? It's no use, there's an issue, we discuss it, we have an agreement, and then we go to sleep on it, and then it happens again, and then we discuss it, That is not a good sign, okay? And then finally, evaluate. After some time has passed, you want to find out, did it work? Our approach to this issue, how we addressed it, the options we gave to ourselves, did it work? Did it deliver on its mandate? That's something you want to think about also. And if all of this doesn't get you to where you are going, then by all means, please seek for professional help. And there I say, I'm available. Relationship issues, you can talk to me. It will be my pleasure to work with you to ensure that you get it right. Now, session 4, we'll be talking about the best test of compatibility in a second marriage. I'll see you then. Bye. All right. So welcome to session 4. Here, we are trying to answer the question, what is the best test of compatibility in a marriage, second marriage, okay? Now, the best test of compatibility in a second marriage varies from individual to individual, and it all depends on your unique circumstances. However, there are some ways to assess compatibility that can be helpful. Number 1, communication. Effective communication is a key factor in any successful marriage. Pay attention to how you and your partner communicate with each other. Do you feel heard and understood? Are you able to express your feelings and needs in a constructive way? Do you both prioritize open and honest communication? Very important. How about conflict resolutions? Now, the truth is, every couple will face disagreement at one time or the other, so conflicts will come. The question is, how do you handle it? Are you able to walk through in a constructive way? Do you both take responsibility? All right, do you take responsibility for your actions? And do you work towards a resolution? Do you both have a willingness to compromise, to find solutions that work for everybody? In other words, are you looking for a win-win scenario when things don't go the way you expected them to go? Very, very important. If you have somebody who is always right, somebody who is never wrong, no matter what it is you are talking about, what time is it? Oh, it's 5 o'clock. No, it's 4 minutes to 5. You know what I mean? That ordinarily is a non-issue. But if that is the kind of thing you guys are, having, conflict over, it might be a sign for you that if little things as 5 minutes to 4 and 4 o'clock is causing an upheaval, then you can imagine when the real issues come up, what's going to happen, okay? Another area is shared values. Shared values. Shared values are important in every marriage relationship. Pay attention to whether you and your partner share similar values around things like family, finances, religion, lifestyle, etc., etc. All right? Are you both on the same page when it comes to the things that matter most to you? This is very, very important. Please take notes. People do not change just because they got married. No. All right. So if you are, you're not okay, so I am Anglican, you are Baptist. Have a conversation about it. I am Buddhist, you are a Christian. Have a conversation about it. Because if you do not have that conversation and clear those things up, you are going to set yourself up for another failure. All right. So this is very, very important. Are you on the same page on these matters? The things that matter to you the most, do you both have the same mind on them? How about lifestyle compatibility? It's important. Pay attention to whether you and your partner have compatible lifestyles, including things like how you spend your free time, your social lives, and your overall daily routines. It's important that you guys have, more meeting points than otherwise, okay? It's important you have more meeting points than otherwise. How about emotional connection? Emotional connection is key for a successful marriage. So pay attention to whether you and your partner feel emotionally connected to each other. Do you share similar emotional needs and express affection in similar ways? Now, let's be careful here. It's okay if your love languages are different, so long as you recognize this and you are willing to learn your partner's love language. So take note of that, all right? It's important that you prioritize emotional intimacy and support for each other. Now, ultimately, the best test for compatibility is whether you feel happy, fulfilled, and supported in your relationship. Trust your instincts, pray about it, pay attention to how you feel when you're with that person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, okay? If you feel happy, loved, respected, then maybe you want to continue that relationship. But if it's otherwise, if you're always apprehensive, if you are fearful, if you are, constantly having anxiety, panic sessions. Oh my God, what's he going to say? What's she going to say? Am I well dressed? Am I meeting up? Am I doing the right thing? It might be a good reason to want to pause a little and say, hey, let's take a look at this one more time. All right. I'll see you in session 5, where we'll be looking at what should a Christian look out for in a second marriage. I'll see you there. So welcome to session 5. Here we are looking at what should a Christian look out for in a second marriage. For Christians entering into a second marriage, there are certain considerations that are important to keep in mind. Here are some things to look out for. Number 1, shared faith. If faith is important to you, if you're a Christian and you are genuinely born again, then it's important to look for a partner who shares your religious beliefs and values, okay? This will ensure that both of you are on the same page when it comes to things like attending church, praying together, raising the children, and all of that. I mean, I've known this to cause serious conflicts in families. I know a couple today who are separated because one is Pentecostal and the other one is an Adventist. So take note of that, okay? The second thing is commitment to marriage. You see, Christians, ideally, for us, marriage is till death do us part. That is our understanding of marriage. So are you sure that this person is on the same page with you? Are you sure that for them, marriage is not, swinging doors? If it feels good, go ahead. If it doesn't, shut the door and marry somebody else. So think deeply about this. Make sure that you share the same commitment to the sanctity of marriage with this person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, okay? Another thing is forgiveness and grace, all right? In any marriage, forgiveness and grace is important. So you need to look for a partner that is willing to extend forgiveness and grace to you, and a partner who will also accept forgiveness and grace from you. This is very, very important. We would offend each other. We would, step on each other's toes, but we must also be quick and willing to forgive. After all, our Lord's Prayer says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Another thing you want to look out for is family values. Okay? It is important, all right? Look for somebody who shares your values when it comes to family dynamics and relationships. Consider how this person will fit into your family, whether they are willing to be a positive addition to the relationships you already have or otherwise. I always feel that you shouldn't mortgage what you have for the hope of something better that you're not sure of yet. All right? So I'd rather keep what I have now than with the hope that things will be better with this new person, risk losing what I have. So I think that's something you want to look out for also. Then there's also the issue of respect and love. In Christianity, love and respect are considered essential components of a healthy marriage. So you must look for a partner who is respectful of you and your beliefs, and who will be willing to show love and support both in the good and the bad times. After all, our marital vow says, for better, for worse, till death do us part. So make sure that this time around, you for one, are going to love and respect the person you are hoping to get married to, number one. And then number two, make sure that that person has shown by now that they respect and genuinely love you. Once again, you must remember that every person and every relationship is unique. But what is most important to you as a Christian may be different from another person. So you still need to make sure that you touch base with the person, have deep conversations about these matters, and ensure that you are on the same page on each of these points that we have discussed today. All right, we are going on to session 6. I'll see you there. Last but one session, I'd like to raise the red flag at this point. Okay, I'd like to raise the red flag at this point. What are some danger signs that should tell you that, hey, this may not be right for me? What are those things that you would see and you would run? I mean, they say once bitten, twice shy. The last thing you want is to get into a marriage again and discover that once again, it was an error or whatever, okay? So number one, rushing into the relationship. If your partner is seemingly pressuring you, all right, let's do it, let's just get on with it. I think we're fine. We've done this before. We're matured. We understand each other. Everything will be okay. All right. And yet, those concrete things that you are asking for, they are not forthcoming. If I were you, I'll think twice about that relationship. Okay. The second thing is lack of communication. Communication is key in any relationship. So if your partner is not willing to communicate openly and honestly with you, this could be a sign of a bigger problem coming up in the future. Watch out for partners that are secretive, dismissive, unwilling to listen to your needs and concerns. Oh, that's not important. We'll talk about it later. Oh, I thought you understood when I said this. And then you begin to second guess yourself. But hold on. When we discuss this, you said A, I said B. How come you're now saying you said B and I said A? That's a good sign that you may, or should I say that's a bad sign? You may want to reconsider that relationship if communication is not flowing, if it is not smooth, okay? You also want to look at past relationship issues. If your partner has unresolved issues from past relationship, this could affect your current relationship. Look out for partners who are still carrying emotional baggage, who have not taken time to heal from past wounds and are still in close contact with their ex-partners. Sometimes the only reason why they are coming for you is because the other person, all right, they're just using you to, almost like to balance, to hurt the other person. Truth is, if the other person, for example, suddenly shows sign of interest in them again, you're in trouble. They would go back, okay? So don't allow them use you as a what's the word now? As a sidekick, really, literally speaking, you are a sidekick in a relationship that you are in. If more often than not, your partner is you are sensing transferred aggression, all right? I mean, your partner is having issues with you that are not yours, and you're wondering, why we're having this argument? Oh, I'm sorry. That's how my previous relationship was. So it's almost as if your partner is superimposing the challenges from the past onto this new relationship. It's a sign for you to really, really consider whether you want to continue with that relationship. How about red flags in behavior? Pay attention to red flags in your partner's behavior, such as lack of responsibility, honesty, controlling or manipulative behavior, or patterns of substance abuse and addiction. All right? But what's smelling around here? Oh, nothing. The cleaner came and, they didn't do a good job of it. I left some food in the oven, or I left some food out and it got bad. But you know that this is not how bad food smells. You know that this smells like cigarettes. This smells like something even stronger than cigarettes. And yet your partner is trying to convince you otherwise, all right? You mistakenly see a message on their phone and you ask for an explanation and it's not forthcoming or it doesn't add up. Take notes, be wary, okay? Another thing to bear in mind is lack of commitment. If your partner seems hesitant to commit to the relationship, is unwilling to walk through challenges that may arise, this could be a sign that they are not really ready for a second marriage. Maybe they just want to hang out with somebody for a season. Maybe they want a bedmate for a season. Whereas you are looking for a relationship, they're just looking for an interlude. Take note of that. Run for your dear life. Once again, every relationship is unique. What may be a danger sign to one relationship may not be so for another. Trust your instincts, pray about it, seek counsel, talk to trusted family friends, and approach a marriage coach if you have concerns about your relationship. Thank you very much. I'm so grateful that you stayed till this very session. We have the last session coming up, which is our conclusion session. I'll see you. Congratulations, you made it. This is the very last session. This is the conclusion session. I hope you've been blessed by all that you've heard. I hope it's been meaningful to you. I'll be really delighted to hear from you. Please go to the comment section and tell me what you think about this. If you think there's another topic that you'd like us to address, please feel free. I'll be glad to take it up. All right. Now, let me say this. If you're watching, if you've listened to this point and you're in a troubled marriage, I'd like to counsel you to seek out a marriage counselor before you pull the button. Because as you can see now, it's easier said than done. Second marriages are not automatically going to be better than the first one. All right. So I would really counsel that divorce or separation, whatever it is, should really be, the last option on your table. Okay. See how you can mend things, see what you can do, talk to a marriage counselor. I'll be glad to take you on, I'll be glad to take you on. But if you're listening and the deed has been done and you want to start all over again, you too would have realized that it's easier said than done and you need help. The last thing you want is to be 2 times unlucky. All right. And the only help, the one help that I can guarantee, the one help that has worked for me and the numerous people I've had cause to interact with through the years as a marriage counselor is Jesus. Take it from me. If you would commit your life to Jesus, if you will commit the trouble in your home to Jesus, if you will commit your marriage to Jesus, he who knows the end of a thing from the beginning will help you to sort it out. I would strongly encourage you to pray about everything first. All right. If you're in a marriage, don't think of divorce until after you've prayed and sought counsel. If you want to get into a second marriage, don't say yes or don't ask, will you marry me, until you've prayed and you have a word from the Lord that is a good, that you are good to go. I really will encourage you to seek that help. And I'll be delighted to help you. We run marriage coaching sessions, both premarital and post, marital coaching sessions. I've had all manner of interesting clients that I've worked with. I've had cross-cultural marriage people, somebody from outside of Nigeria getting married to a Nigerian, and we worked together. It was wonderful. I've had couples, they've been married for almost a year and there was no sex in their marriage. after 1 or 2 sessions, to the glory of God, things have changed, and they're on their way on the right path, and on and on and on. I could share such stories with you. It will be my pleasure to work with you to help you to either to improve your marriage or to work with you to ensure that your next attempt at marriage, you get it right. May God bless you. Thank you. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, to share this video, and to like this video. God bless you. Thank you very much.